Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Zincast. And we have a snowstorm on the way, and I am excited. It's going to actually turn into one hell of a nor'easter. Yes, nor'easter. I feel like we have not said that word in a while. So let's dive into it, right? First off, national radar. You see the storm pretty much heading into Missouri, and it will be heading our way. Let's actually look at the water vapor. You can actually see it really nice right here. Like I said, heading into Missouri. And our block that was set up is shifting, and it's moving into a better position. Because if it stayed here and blocked the storm from getting to us, then the storm would be suppressed. And you guys all know how I love the word suppression. Bane of my existence sometimes. But yeah, so the block is getting out of the way just in time, but it is moving in a spot where it's still slowing down the system. And then you have this other piece of energy which is going to dive into the system, and yes, nor'easter time. So let us actually look at some models. Let's look at the Euro from earlier today, and let us look at this as the 500 millibar pattern. So we're looking at the upper level here. And we could actually see what we were looking at on the water vapor. So you see the storm moving into Missouri. You see the block over here. And you have a piece of energy that's going to be diving into it. And if you look, as we move this through, okay, as this, you see that block, the block sliding off. Just look at where it was. And look how it's sliding off. But it's slowing everything down, okay? And that allows this piece of energy, see it over here, let's back up actually, see it over here, okay? See how that dives into this trough, and then the upper level low starts to cut off right over us, and it's actually a thing of beauty when you're looking at this. Let us look at the surface, because I know the surface is where you're going to see pretty much what all that translates to, but I wouldn't put 100% stock on these surface maps, okay? That being said, here it is, right? Moving into Missouri, there you go, the low pressure system, the surface low, and it is heading east. And when it gets to about Ohio, West Virginia, that is where it kind of gets stuck because of the blocking, the high pressure, the blocking, the piece of energy that's diving down into it. And at that point, it can't go north, okay? And if it did, if it was a lake cutter and went north right through the Great Lakes, well, we would have one of those rain to snow type situations, and all this warm air would just ride up. But it's not. It can't, because of the block, because of the high, because of all this stuff that's set up. So where does it have to go? To the coast. So you can see here it is still, again, Ohio, West Virginia, but then, boom, it bounces to the coast, okay? And that is important, because when that low bounces to the coast, it starts intensifying, it starts reorganizing itself, starts intensifying, and it starts tapping into the Atlantic moisture. And that starts pivoting in moisture, and you will see the higher radar echoes and the higher snow rates. You can see how you got the deeper shades of blue here. And if we go a little bit more, you see how that kind of all works out, right? And you see how that low kind of meanders around before finally exiting. Now, this is a long duration event. We're talking, say, 7 p.m. Sunday all the way to Tuesday night. Or very late afternoon, and in fact, you'll probably see some snow showers on Wednesday, at just like that upper level low kind of just hangs out above while everything is exiting. But again, with this setup, you have two parts of the storm: the beginning overrunning event, where you have the warm air pushing north, colliding into the cold Arctic air set up by this high, which is funneling that down. And you have cold air and the warm air colliding, making lift, and you get some snow. This is the lighter snow, okay? This is more of 7 p.m. Sunday on. And when I say 7 p.m. Sunday, if you live further south and west, it's going to start sooner. If you live further north and east, it's going to start later. So 7 p.m. is kind of like, I would say, like New York City, around there, right? But yeah, this is the lighter part of the event. And then as you move on into Monday, specifically Monday afternoon, that's where the low on the coast finally starts taking over and starts feeding in the heavier snow. Let us actually look at the NAM model, because everyone loves the NAM model. I say that because it always predicts some like 30-inch snowfall at some point. And let's look at, again, the surface and watch how the storm pulls through here. Okay, so now, again, here you see the low pressure is situated over Ohio. And as it heads towards West Virginia, that's where all of a sudden it starts transferring on the coast. And when it does that, you have your coastal start taking over, and it just starts rotating and feeds in the snow. Actually, something to look at here. Let's go back to the European here. You'll notice that when that warm air first starts coming in, okay, you have rain to snow. Oh, sorry, snow to rain. Okay, down south. Okay, southern Jersey. Right, you see that? But then as the low starts taking over, you get the cold air funneling in when it jumps to the coast, and because the winds are coming out of the north and the east, that's why they call it a nor'easter, and that starts bringing that cold air back, so you go back to snow. And again, that's really the heavy part of the storm. You could also see that in this setup here. Okay, you got your warm air coming in, you have a little bit of mixing and a little snow to rain, and then that gets up and it also clips parts of Long Island, and then that finally heads out. Now, New York City, I think you're all snow. Maybe a little bit of mixing at some point, but I think it's 90% snow. Same thing with Philadelphia. I think it's 90% snow. The Cape, the east end of Long Island, Atlantic City, coastal New Jersey, southern New Jersey. Yeah, I see the mixing, okay? You're definitely going to get some mixing depending on your location. Speaking of that, let's actually go ahead and take a look at my snow map. So here's the snow map that I made today. And you will see that there's a large area of 10 to 18 inches. I am liking 10 to 18 inches in around New York City, Philadelphia, my neck of the woods. Yeah, 10 to 18 inches. Now, you notice that I have an 18 plus color here, but it's not on the map. That's because that's kind of like lollipops. Like, there could be a little spot here, a spot here, a spot here. I mean, like in this area, I'd say this is where you can get an 18 plus somewhere, but it's localized. It's not this entire area. It's just some spots depending on where the band's set up. You get stuck in a band that's producing 1 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates. And you're in that for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're gonna pile up snow very, very quickly. So that's why I didn't. If you vote, I could just like color in some spots of that just to have it. I decided not to. 6 to 12 around that area. 3 to 6 pretty much everywhere else, and then 1 to 3 where you're getting your mixing. And see, the 3 to 6 is where you get those mixing areas, and then 1 to 3 down by Atlantic City, because I think there's going to be just too much mixing there. But yeah, so it's definitely what it feels like a classic nor'easter. I mean, I remember watching Paul Cosin on the Weather Channel back in the day with my buddy Loris. Whenever these type of storms came up, and this one has that feel to it. Can things go wrong? Well, yeah, things can go wrong still. Depending on where this low sets up, how it tracks exactly. There's so many different factors that can influence this forecast. So it's not going to be verbatim what you see here, or it's not going to be verbatim what you see here. But it definitely has a very, very nice potential. Let us actually look at one other thing here from National Weather Service. This is just their forecast going. So obviously the low in Missouri. And then you see 12 hours later, 12 hours later. And this is actually a little older forecast from this morning. So as it just tracks, you kind of see how it moves there. And again, it's booking right now. It's going to go from here to Ohio, West Virginia in about 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours, right? In like 30 hours, right? It's gonna book. But then once it gets here and bumps to the coast, that's where it slows down. That jump to the coast, and it starts reorganizing, and you got the block, you got your highs delivering the cold Arctic air, and yeah, it's the setup is there for what should be a classic. Again, if this pans out, it would be a classic. If it doesn't pan out, you know, we all get 1 to 3, then I've seen that happen before. Let's hope not. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will probably update this snow map one more time and just post it tomorrow. I will do another short video tomorrow just to be like, hey, we're still on track. Or if you see me crying in a video, then you know we're not on track. And then some videos on Monday and Tuesday. I mean, again, Sunday night and then Monday and then Tuesday. And just remember, 2 parts to the storm. The overrunning event on Monday mornings, Sunday night to Monday morning. And then the jump to the coast. And then as that low starts intensifying, then you start getting heavier things. So don't be surprised if you get a little lull in between and be like, oh, it stopped snowing, the storm is over, and the radar doesn't look good, or something like that, or the storm's a bust. Listen, until Tuesday night, I don't want to hear the bust. Well, again, depending on how this all goes. And lastly, wind. There will be wind. There will be drifting snow, which, I hate the wind because it makes it impossible for me to measure because my house is like a wind tunnel out there. All right. Well, listen, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ZinLamar. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on the snow. Have a good one, everyone.